Hello, welcome, audience. Welcome. How are you today? Happy Janmashtami to all of you. My name is Bobby Thakur. Today, I'm your host. And today, we have a very exciting topic, very hot topic nowadays, which is career in psychology, how to choose a career. So, various things we're going to learn today, we're going to know from our expert. Let me tell you a little bit about our expert, Mr. Toshindra Dwivedi. He's working in the mental health field from last 12 years, and he is a teaching faculty, have been a teaching faculty in various universities like IGNU, Delhi University, Galgotia University, and Dr. Toshindra Dwivedi is in Amity University right now, and he has been training a lot of people till now. He has been training Government of India officers. He has been training in corporates, NGOs, ONGCs, Election Commission of India. He has been author of dozens of publications, including 3 books in psychology as well. And he has trained 100 plus IS, IPS aspirants and officers till now, which is really amazing. And he also got various awards like Indian Humanitarian Award in 2020, because he's doing great service for the humanity as well. And one great thing I have learned personally from Mr. Dwivedi is keep learning always. So
Thank you.
which is really awesome. So he has a very long introduction. He has done really amazing job in his life, and he's also the member of Indian Association of Health Psychology. He is the member of Expression India. So a lot of things. So my first question from you, sir, how do you manage, how do you gather all these things? How do you get manage the time?
So first of all, thank you very much for this warm introduction, Bobby. Good evening to all the viewers of Counsel India, and Namaskar and Jai Shri Krishna. Happy Janmashtami to all of you. So, the only chaos lies in the mind. To your answer, I would say that the only chaos or confusion lies in your mind.
Mhm.
So whatever we are doing or whatever we are thinking is just a caricature or just the reality of whatever we have already imagined or managed or unmanaged in our mind. So if there is a clarity inside, then people can be multitasking like you. I
Mhm.
find you to be very dynamic, and you are, your team is wonderful. I find them in IGNU, I find them in internships, I find them in promotions, psychology talks.
Mhm.
So it's all there.
Yeah, thank you so much for being, you are highlighting psychology in India, especially. Thank you so much for that. So let's move forward for our topic, which is careers in psychology. So choosing psychology as a career. Before that, I would like to ask you, like, how did you get into the psychology career? What is your story of choosing the psychology?
Yeah, see, in our time, there was not career testing, which is mostly done in the most famous school these days, which psychologist only does.
Mm-hmm.
So in my time, we used to, there was a hit and trial method.
Right.
Initially, I prepared for medicals, and then I prepared for IAS, but
Mm-hmm.
and I had a deep desire to serve humanity, to bring about some relief to the people, either physically or mentally. So
Okay.
I thought how to, and I was quite expert in my school days. If any student or any friend has any problem, I used to soothe him. His pent-up feeling was released. I provided him ABC solutions. So I thought, why
Mm-hmm.
not to make it my career?
Mm-hmm.
My aptitude lies in that direction, and my interest also. So I did my graduation from Banaras Hindu University
Mm-hmm.
in psychology honors, and then I joined my master's in applied psychology department, University of Delhi. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I did my PhD from University of Delhi, and then it all started. I started teaching as an assistant professor in Delhi University, and
Mm-hmm.
side by side, I was involved with a lot of counseling and training.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Great.
expanded my horizon like this.
Great. So what was the one thing that create a thought in your mind that now you should choose psychology? Psychology is something that you want to go.
Yes, my eagerness to hear others,
Mm-hmm.
and my passion to help others, at least do some quick counseling and bring about relief or smile to someone's ears,
Mm-hmm.
and my passion to understand human and nature and human behavior, and of course to provide a leverage to the people in their motivation and other things. So all these things, I mean, bottomed up to choosing a career in psychology, and then initially I was a clinical psychologist, and then I expanded to be the trainer, and I
Mm-hmm.
train all Sashastra Seema Bal and all the guested officers on behalf of
Mm-hmm.
Election Commission of India in the states of Maharashtra, Jammu, Tripura, Bihar, and I have expanded my horizon. So
Very nice. Sounds really great, sir. So I want to ask you, okay, in your time, you chose a career just
mhm,
like that. Maybe you did a lot of introspection about yourself because you come to know that, okay, you can hear people really well.
mhm.
So this can be one of the career option. But nowadays, if I'll ask you before talking about the psychology as a career, I'm asking you a general question like how to choose a career in nowadays. What are the things which are available?
So you are asking this question in general or
Yeah, in
vis-a-vis?
general.
In general, there are only three criteria which all psychologists would agree with me to choose for a career options. There are a couple
Mm-hmm.
of very good organizations like Counsel India.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better to get your career counseling done. And career counseling includes your aptitude test. I mean, what traits and natural inbuilt talent are there in you by the virtue of your genetic construction. So that is aptitude. And second is your interest test. What actually is of interest to you? So out
Mm-hmm.
of interest test, you can get 3, 4, 5, 6 options in which you are genuinely interested. You don't tire easily. You are skilled in that job. And
Mm.
finally, your personality type. So all these three tests, and Counsel India is also very good organization which does a lot of career counseling sessions. I have heard about it. So I think any aspirant should get his career counseling done between standard 8 to 10, ideally. But even if you are late, any aspirant or any candidate, any viewer of, you can get it done by the time you do your class 11th or 12th. So you will have a
Right.
clarity
Mm-hmm.
and about whether to take a career in psychology or to go for bureaucracy or to go for a news anchor or to go for mass comm. So
Right.
career testing is a must at the school stage. If you want to save your time, futile time, in our time it was hit and trial. A lot of years were gone in vain. So it's
Right.
better to save your time, economize your work, get the career testing done by experienced psychologist or some organization like Counsel India, and then whatever step you will take, there will be more candid and boldness in it, and you are bound to excel.
Perfect. So nowadays there are a lot of scientific psychological tools are available. People
Yeah,
can go through with those testings and they can
exactly.
choose their perfect career for their life.
Because these psychological tests get to know your virtues. You are
Right.
administrative, you take MBTI
Mm.
hai, and other personality tests. So your virtues they measure, and
Right.
I mean, like your parents, they will squeeze out all your traits, whether you are a thinker or you are an intuitive person,
Right.
whether yeah. So all these things can be summarized immediately in 1 or 2 hours, and then whatever decision you take, there will be a scientific base.
Right. And nowadays there are a lot of career options. Around 450 career options are available.
Right.
So in today's time, choosing a career is really confusing. So people should not take risk regarding their career. They must go the scientific testings to
Yes,
choose a
yes.
career.
there
Okay.
are there are more probability that whatever decision take, it won't
Hmm.
be futile, it will pay you.
Right. Right. Perfect. Sounds good. So before asking you how to choose a career in psychology, I want to ask you why to choose psychology as a career.
See, it's a very good question, Nitin. Sorry, Bobby, it's a very good and interesting question. Why to choose psychology as a career?
Right.
See, if you have a desire to serve someone, if you have a desire to motivate or mobilize someone, if
Mm-hmm.
you have a desire to do social service or earn money also,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have a desire and a passion if you have a craving for understanding attitude and human nature, then definitely psychology is the career. Not only for that, psychology
Mm-hmm.
is one of the very promising future for civil services aspirants. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
IAS aspirants take psychology as an optional, and
Right.
they come up with the flying colors. So psychology is multidimensional, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the very versatile syllabus. And you even if you do not make a qualify civils, you understand human nature, you understand what attitude, emotions, learning and memory are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to make a career in psychology, definitely you should be having um, uh, if you say what is a must, you should be having a good communication either in Hindi or in English.
Right.
If it is in English, it is best. And second, you should be having understanding, you should be having craving to understand people and understand your own self. And third, you
Right.
should be having a passion and motivation to bring about some change in the society, either through organization like Counsel India, which Bobby is doing, or bring about some change or positive leverage in this society for the better quality of life.
Perfect. So first benefit gonna be is you're gonna improve yourself, your personality, your thought process, your
Exactly.
emotion, your life,
Exactly. Yes, yes.
and then you'll be able to serve people.
Of course,
So
the biggest chaos we all have is understanding the question about who am I. So
right.
you'll be better able to understand yourself, and if you are clear within you, the entire world you
Hmm.
can clear, and you can show some path and guide someone, counsel someone. All the things will come in line.
Perfect. Perfect. So my next question from you is now how to choose a career in psychology? Like, what is there any path we can follow to choose the career in psychology? How to choose?
Yes, that's again a very good question. See, once you have decided that you want to bring about some relief, generally people from medical background
Mm-hmm.
prefer those who want to bring about relief to humanity, they come in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And people from those who want to, serve the humanity through NGO or through social work or through counseling, they also come in psychology.
Right.
Even if you even if you want to serve in organization, where there is a very popular branch of psychology called as organizational psychology,
Right.
then also psychology is preferred. The first step starts with once you have taken admission in graduation,
Mm-hmm.
then you should, during the 3 years of graduation,
Mm-hmm.
you should see your natural call. Some people are more interested into physiology by the human systems, neurons, and hormones and other things. Some people are more, you might be more interested into statistics or research methodology,
Right.
and you might be getting a better score in those subjects than in comparison to your friends, right? Some people might be more inclined and interested towards social psychology,
Right.
society,
Mm.
NGOs, groups, group dynamics, people, etc. So, and some people might be more interested into organizational behavior, industrial psychology, etc. I mean, applying psychology from in industries, organizations, firms. So you should see your call, which subject is appealing you most.
Okay. So
What
in
is
graduation, you are saying that in graduation, a
hmm,
person should know for
hmm.
which stream they are getting more interested.
Yes, and that will decide your future decision about career, which career you have to choose. So
Right.
graduation will show you the way,
Mm-hmm.
and on which your post graduation will be more consolidated, and then
Mm.
eventually you can choose whether you want to be forensic psychologist, neuropsychologist, or which stream, because you yourself
Right.
are the best judge. So we just
Yeah.
provide you more options so that you can explore, and eventually
Right.
during graduation third year you
Right.
can have a clarity.
Yeah. And then to pursue your mainstream, main specialization, you can go for your master degree, right?
Of course, of course. Once you are clear that yes, I'm more into abnormal psychology, then in masters
Mm.
you can take clinical psychologist, and in future you can become a clinical psychologist or a counselor.
Right.
In graduation, if you have taken counseling psychologist, then there is a plethora of Pandora of all options available in counseling cycle. You can be marital counselor, you can
Right.
be career counselors, you can be likewise.
Right. So my next question from you is, Dr. Turshan Dwivedi, how, I mean, what are all other streams available in India? And
Mhm.
especially before that, we want to know what are the various streams, what are the various specializations available in psychology?
Yes, so I would take some time to answer this question. This is quite
Yes,
big
please.
and huge. So, see, if you have taken, it's generally preferred to take BA Applied Psychology or BA General Psychology,
Hmm.
because in graduation you get to know your call, your drive, your inner inclination. So
Right.
once you are decided that you are interested into abnormal psychology, then you can take your master's in clinical psychology, and after clinical psychology in master's, you can do postgraduate diploma in rehabilitation psychology or postgraduate diploma in guidance and counseling, or you can do some MPhil entrance in and become a full-fledged clinical psychologist. Even after your master's in clinical psychology, you can become, after doing this diploma in neuropsycho in this uh, guidance and counseling, adult and child guidance and counseling, you can become a counselor, and you can
Right.
either counsel the kids for autism and different disorders. You
Hmm.
can become a marital counselor, you can solve out the dispute between the couples, and you can become a family counselor, wherein you can bring about the symmetry in the family, harmony in the family. You can also become the court counselor, where you can involve yourself in the process of arbitration and mediation. So
Right.
likewise, there are a lot of thousands of NGOs which requires simple masters in psychology as their counselors, and I have got some of them recruited. I was in
Right.
that board. So, for example, now if you are interested into clinical, again, you have some legal sense or legal bent of mind, then you can do law after your clinical psychology and you can become forensic psychologist. You can also do some course in forensic psychology, and it is
Mm-hmm.
much in demand these days. A lot of people have a dearth of this forensic psychologist.
Right.
So one can become in CBI and in other legal professions, you can be hired as a forensic psychologist. Now, if
Right.
you are inclined towards industrial psychology, you can choose organizational behavior and do masters in OB. And then
Mm-hmm.
after you can become a OB manager or relationship manager in different airlines and different multinational companies, which are they value you much. They sometimes they value you more than the MBAs
Right.
because they conduct a lot of stress management and HR related activities. So apart from this, there are certain unique careers also these days, like health psychology has a lot and lot of career options. And WHO has, the World Health Organization has already predicted that India is going to be the next mental health, havoc. So in that case,
Mm-hmm.
the psychology postgraduate will be much, much in demand. And this Rajya Sabha mental health bill has also been passed after masters in psychology. People can
Right.
afford to become make a great career in psychology, which will be serving humanity and which will be worth it joining because it will be much profitable.
Right.
And of course, if you do your masters in social psychology or other stream, you can also go for a career in as a sports psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or career in a military psychologist, where you will, maintain the morale of the military people, solve the conflict between the officers. And if you do,
Right.
you can become a social psychologist, talking about the social issues like prejudice, discrimination, riots, group dynamics, etc.
Right.
And after your you can also explore your career as a researcher in any
Mm-hmm.
of these fields which I mentioned. And
Research
you can
psychologist. Yeah.
research, you can do a lot of if you are, suppose you are too interested into statistics and research methodology, then
Mm-hmm.
definitely you can have a bright career in research. You can get a research project funded by United Nations and many government of India agency like DST, ICSSR, etc.
Right.
And you can make a great career in that. So apart from research, like me, you can become a teacher and a trainer also. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to motivate others, if you want to infuse knowledge of psychology into others, if you want talking, if you want preaching, if you want motivating, then you can become an assistant professor, and that you can become after immediately after masters. There is one exam conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency. It's a body of education ministry, so you can
Right.
qualify UGC NTA,
UGC.
NTA
Yeah.
net, and which will give you career in the field of psychology to become assistant professor or a teacher in the school.
Right.
So after your masters, you can also do B.Ed and become a teacher at PGT or TGT level in the school education. You can become counselor in the schools, etc.
Right.
So these are the general career options available.
Perfect. So there are a lot of career options related to the psychology. You can become a teacher, you can become a professor,
Mhm.
and you can become a criminal psychologist, sports psychologist, clinical psychologist, counseling psychologist. So
Exactly.
there are a lot of career options.
Right, right.
So, Dr. Toshinder Dwivedi, I want to ask you now, like, what are the various streams
Mhm.
available in India that a student can pursue for their specialization?
Well, streams you want to say that in masters or for after the masters, what people should do? Can you just be a little?
In masters or after the master? For example, if somebody want to become a criminal psychologist, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So, do we have the available opportunities here in India to become a criminal psychologist?
Yes, forensic psychology has an opening. There is a
Mm-hmm.
forensic psychology unit in the state of Gujarat, and there are a couple of more universities also which
Right.
provide a course in during masters in forensic psychology. So one can join that course. This is called as Forensic Science University in Gujarat, and there are a couple of more places which one can find from Google.
Right.
So more than India, there are a lot of other places which also offer this
Mm.
course in forensic psychology. And I have found one student doing very good. He has just did his masters in counseling psychology from IGNU, and
Mm-hmm.
after that, she simply did his neuro linguistic programming and hypnotherapy,
Right.
and just short courses. And after that, she has opened her own clinic. and she's making good money and getting a lot of blessings because she is using NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and hypnotherapy in all her counseling sessions.
Right.
So people can go for this.
And yeah, and this is really good. Like there are a lot of people who are getting away, though they have done their bachelor's in some different stream, but
Yes.
now they are opting psychology as a subject in their masters, the specialization.
Yes,
the-
yes. Not only from psychology background, I have found people from
Hmm.
non-psychology background also making a great career. I
Right.
have seen some engineers, I have seen some people from architecture and other background, medical background people. They have
Right.
done their masters from IGNU and
Hmm.
MIT or Delhi University, and then they have made a great career in the field of neuropsychology. They
Right.
are neuropsychologists these days, and with the
Hmm.
help of all these instruments, PET scan, finger DNA fingerprinting, and all, and they
Right.
are able to judge the neuro faculties of the people, and they are making good career. They are earning good money.
Right. Right. That's really, there are a lot of opportunities are coming up
Lots and
nowadays.
lots of opportunity. In fact, for becoming a clinical psychologist, you can
Hmm.
also, apart from MPhil, you can
Hmm.
also do PsyD course, which is very few places in India conduct, but abroad there are a lot of opportunities
Right.
in PsyD. So you will be a clinical psychologist, you can be a counselor as well, and you will have a research degree in clinical psychology after doing PsyD.
Oh, that's great. Side is the something people should pursue if they
Yeah.
want to
If
make
you
a
want
career
to,
in
if you have a
psychology.
more craving that apart from for
Hmm.
being a simple clinical psychologist, MPhil
Hmm.
in clinical psychology, which is certified by a Rehabilitation Council of India, is
Hmm.
sufficient. But if you have a more craving, no, I want to do PhD and research as well as clinical psychology degree, then PsyD is the one of the most evolved option, I would say. Although it is little lengthy, so you have to take your call if you want to immediately start practicing. So MPhil will be sufficient. If you want to become a counselor, then MA and then short-term diploma courses. A lot of diploma courses are available.
Right.
Child and adolescent guidance, postgraduate diploma in rehabilitation psychology. Online diploma courses are available on the
Right.
website, online and offline. Both are available on the website of Nimhans, Ram Manohar Lohia, and Ibhas Mental Hospital and
Right.
Ranchi. So people can explore and find out which field they want to go.
Right. And sir, one question has come up from the audiences. They want to know the exact difference between the clinical psychology, counseling psychology, and organization psychology.
Well, yes. So basically, clinical psychologists deal with the in-depth personality and mental
Hmm.
health issues like psychosis and neurosis, schizophrenia, and depression, anxiety. This is taken by clinical psychologists who
Hmm.
work parallelly with the psychiatrist in the hospital. So
Right.
psychiatrist give you, he is a person with MBBS and MD degree. He
Hmm.
gives you medicine and he cures. But like United States have got a very good parallel arrangement. Along with every psychiatrist, there is a
Hmm.
psychologist. But in India, there is a dearth of clinical psychologists. So generally, the ideal condition is along with the psychiatrist, who's the MBBS doctor and MD in psychiatry,
Right.
there must be one clinical psychologist with a training in
Hmm.
MPhil of psychology or PsyD or MA in so he should be counseling people. The clinical psychologists generally counsel people against all these disorders like schizophrenia,
Hmm.
depression, anxiety, personality problems, etc. For counselors, the theory of clinical psychology course in MA and counseling psychology is almost 70-80% same. But for
Okay.
counseling psychologists, you have to deal with the superficial cases of suppose indecisiveness,
Hmm.
excessive pressure,
Hmm.
conflict within you or within the family or between the relations. That's why counseling psychologists have got a more broad spectrum of work because they can counsel people even for career counseling in the school level. They can be the
Right.
PGT and TGT teacher. They can do
Hmm.
counseling in the court cases between families and husband and wife and between two parties who are in conflict. So they can diffuse, fizzle out the pressure someone has got and they want some general counselor. So they can find out the irrational thought and belief pattern and correct it. And they can also counsel the families which have a different relationship dynamics. They can join some NGO and provide superficial counseling in these neurotic cases. But for the psychotic cases and the deep clinical cases,
Hmm.
clinical psychologists are required who have done masters in clinical psychology, but
Right.
masters in counseling psychology is also has got a vast spectrum. For example, even the counseling psychologist, I have found working them very efficiently in the organization, GE, Converges, because they provide the conflict between the two teams or between the supervisors. They
Right.
provide a lot of workshops on stress management, and
Mm-hmm.
they help the organization in the hiring of the new people by conducting the test. So
Right.
counseling psychologist, I see more potential, and
Mm-hmm.
clinical psychology, I see more in-depth analysis of the clinical cases, particularly psychosis in nature. But for neurotic cases and for indecisiveness, for conflict, for pressure, I think counseling psychologists provide vast repertoire of solution. And the third is organizational behavior. Well,
Right.
organizational behavior, if you have done your MA in OB, organizational behavior,
Mm-hmm.
then definitely you have to compete with the MBAs. But where my psychologist people have got an edge is that they
Mm-hmm.
have got standardized tests which MBAs cannot conduct or interpret. That
Right.
that efficiently where the organizational people, the people with OB background can counsel, and they can approach by conducting these MBTI and other tests
Mm.
available. So OB people can also provide training sessions in their organization. Those who have done
Mm.
their or masters in organizational. One of my friend is a relationship counselor in one of the airlines. She has done her masters in organizational behavior.
Right.
So OB people have also got vast repertoire. You can be
Mm.
hired as a researcher in DRDO or in other multinational company as as a psychologist, as a wellness trainer, as a HR person, etc. So all these are the different domains which are very prevalent in India.
Right.
And a couple of
Sounds
universities have forensic psychology also, which provide a course, which provide a career opening in the forensic and criminal psychology.
right. Right. Okay. So, we just want to go quickly about psychology's past, present, and future. So, what is your idea, like how psychology was in the past and how it is now and how it's gonna be?
Well, that's a very tricky question, Bobby. So in the past, psychology, we didn't had much of the openings in
Mhm.
psychology in India because of lack of awareness, and still
Right.
there are very less colleges which
Mm.
offer psychology honors in BA and master's level,
Mhm.
and there are very less universities also. But now, in the past,
And
it
do
was,
you think that there was a need of psychology before
yeah.
in the past?
Yes, there was a need of psychology before,
Mm-hmm.
but because why this need was not much recognized later. This need
Mm-hmm.
was why this was recognized later, because in the past, all these mystic practices, jhad phuk, tantra mantra, they have taken
Right.
our job, and
Right.
still because of superstition or in the heartland of India, in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Still,
Hmm.
people don't come to psychologists. They go only to these mystic practices, people, jhad, phuk, tantra, mantra, baba, fakir, and all.
Right.
And so they have taken our market of where we can tap in. So
Mm-hmm.
now, so now people are realizing that to get their son, to save their futile years of their son from being wasted in testing and trying which career suits them, they should
Mm-hmm.
contact some counseling psychologist. Now people
Right.
are realizing that this is a mental health issue and mental health problem, and they should consult some clinical psychologist or a health professional. Now people are now the options available are now the options in psychology are much more better than in the past. Now people are recognizing the worth of clinical psychologists, and this has got more momentum after this liberalization, privatization, and globalization, when the
Mm-hmm.
joint family system has broken down, and now even there is individual family and cluster family, and a lot of family issues have started popping up in the family, where the child requires a care, where the child requires mental health professionals to come in, where career counseling need to be done, where a
Mm.
lot of HR professional need to be hired as a psychologist. So
Yeah.
present situation is a very, it is a fertile ground for psychologists.
Right.
And in future, definitely we can, as we are growing into the phase of a developed country from developing, there
Mm-hmm.
is a vast potential in psychology in future, particularly in India. We'll be there in every field, whether it is
Right.
recruitment, where
Mm.
nowadays one of my student is a marital counselor.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from the astrology Kundali, he does his psychologist Kundali also. He has developed from some research,
Mm-hmm.
and if people go to him along with, he has developed his specialization in astro psychology. So
Okay.
along with the Kundali and all these matchmaking, he also
Mm.
does some temperament mapping kind of a thing. and he has opened his own clinic and he charges very good. So see the diversity. So the future belongs to a lot of interdisciplinarity, lot of innovation, a lot of diversity in psychology, and a lot of hope is there in the field of psychology.
Very nice. That's really, really good. That people are moving, becoming more scientific, and psychology is, very scientific thing that people
Very
can go
scientific.
through.
Very scientific. In fact, the
Yeah.
credibility of psychology lies only on the being of only on the basis of its scientific temperament and nature.
Right.
We cannot say what is zero friendship is, but we can definitely calculate the person's IQ level or personality temperament and which job he can be best suited, what decisions he can best take, which post deserves him most. And if we are doing this, we are doing a great job. We are saving the people's lots of money and time of the people. So
Absolutely, absolutely, indeed. Okay, so my next question from you is, what do you think? What are the major challenges? Because we are talking about psychology as a career. So, what are the major challenges being a psychologist, or when we work as a psychologist in the field, we encountered with?
Yeah, there are certain bottlenecks and challenges also, because still per thousand of people there are just one or two psychologists, not 1,000 per lakh of people. We have hardly two or three one or two psychologists. So the
Right.
figure is meager, but the figure is growing. So,
Right.
and now the major challenges we face generally is with the help of medical practitioners. They consider psychologists, professionals or psychologists to be subservient or second to them. So we have to assert ourselves. We have to show our worth. We have to prove that, like in other countries, will be our glory and our contribution will be shared, accepted, and dignified by the medical practitioner also.
Right.
So this is one bottleneck. Second bottleneck is the ignorance and superstition in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Still, rather than coming to the psychologist or rather than revealing that any family member is having some psychological problem or mental health aberration, people prefer to keep mum, because people fear being branded as कि हमें पागल घोषित कर देगा, हमें psychologist के पास ले जा रहा है. So people need to come up and people need to accept that it is normal, being just like any physical problem. People can have mental health issues, people can have personality issues, people can have stress or excessive stress problem and burnout in their life. People can do require counseling, whether it is personal life, professional life. So we have to make people more receptive to approach us, reach us, and seek professional help.
Yeah, it is like just going to a physical doctor, general doctor for different problems, the different physical problems.
Yes.
So we should see the same way.
Exactly. So this taboo of not going to the psychologist and keeping the things under the carpet and letting it grow in magnitude. So there are a lot of challenges. People, it is blown out of proportion where it could have been controlled and contained and treated. So we have a challenge to break this this wall, and we have to penetrate down to the people, giving them assurance that we are here to provide solution to the problem. We are here to provide you more relief. We are here to provide you more options in your life, and we are here to provide you better quality of life and well-being.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also want to know, because the audience is asking, even I myself, whenever I talk to various people and I tell that what I do, so they ask like, what psychologists do? Are they the mind readers? Or I mean, there are a lot of myths related to the psychology, right?
Yes, yes.
So I want to ask you that what are the various myths that you have gone through in your life, or your personal experiences, or what do you think? What are the myths in psychology, or being a psychologist?
Being a psychologist is a tough, is not very easy job. Just like आप train में किसी से कहते हैं, I know how palmistry, people put your hands in front of you. So as soon as you say that you have got a bachelor's or master's in psychology, people say कि मेरा चेहरा पढ़ो. Read my mind, what I'm thinking.
Read my mind, yeah.
that is a big puzzle, and we say, how can we read your mind unless and until we follow the scientific process of talking to you, checking your attitude, introducing questionnaire and all.
Right.
So that is one.
And why to read the mind? Why to read the mind?
Read the mind? People are simply inquisitive. They either want to challenge you, or they want to test your knowledge. कि ऐसे ये हवाबाजी है या कुछ substance भी है. Or they are simply inquisitive. Okay, let me see whether she or he is right or not. We are not mind readers. We are the people who provide solutions. We are the people who provide you some interesting insights and options. We are here to
Right.
enhance your quality of life and give
Right.
more edge to your decisions.
Right.
Right. So we are here to provide leverage in your quality of life, wellness, and
Right. So this is one of the myth. So
yeah, this is one of the myths.
yeah, yeah. So would you like to share any other myths related to psychology? You remember right now?
Yeah, there are myths that people say that if we go to the psychologist, we'll be branded as mad or pagal. हम पागल थोड़ी
Yeah.
नहीं psychologist के पास जाए. No, just
Hmm.
like any physical ailment in this hurry-burry life and in this
Hmm.
cutthroat competition, people may have simple depression or anxiety. In
Hmm.
fact, my team of 180 psychologists,
Hmm.
with the help of National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights,
Hmm.
they have counseled around thousands of kids during this pandemic phase, online counseling.
Hmm.
So we do a lot of social work also as being a psychologist. And
Hmm.
with the help of Mission Shakti launched by UP government, we have done certain things. So myth, coming back to the question, myth part
Hmm.
includes that psychologists are mind readers. No, we are not
Right.
mind readers. Myth part
Hmm.
includes going to the psychologist means I'm pagal. No, you can still be normal. And if we give you more assurance that whatever you are, your face is quite okay, then you are going to have a more rejuvenated life. Going
Hmm.
to the psychologist provides you solution. So
Right.
that is also a myth in people and hesitation in people to reach out to psychologists and ask for the help. Right.
Right. Okay. So I want to ask you one more thing. Like being a psychologist, being a counselor, you are dealing with the emotions, thoughts, and the behaviors of the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yes.
is very, very important to take care of ourselves being a psychologist, because
Right.
you are on daily basis, you are listening so many things, so many painful things, different kind of emotions you are encountered with. So what do you think, what kind of work people, this question is from the side of the people who are becoming psychologists nowadays,
Right. Right.
or completing their masters, their MPhil, their PhDs,
Right. Right.
and they are doing counseling sessions now. So, what kind of work they should do on themselves?
See, first of all, once you have understood the nitty-gritties of different theories, cognitive behavior theory,
Mm-hmm.
behavioral theory, rational emotive behavior theory, then you get to know it's basically our thought or basically how much exaggerated our thoughts are or how
Mm-hmm.
much we minimize our thoughts. That results into irrational belief pattern and abnormality within our own self. So
Mm-hmm.
if your theory part is clear, if you have understood the concept well, then the impact will be less. No matter how much drain, how much negativity you absorb, you
Right.
know that it is all right. It is here I'm wrong and here I'm
Mm.
exaggerating or here I'm ignoring certain things. So
Right.
please study your, have your conceptual clarity all right. And
Mm-hmm.
still there are some ladies who are into clinical psychology, MPhil and all. They are very much perturbed by the lot of mental health issues, incest and other cases.
Mm-hmm.
So it is preferred that you yourself get your pent up feeling and your toxicity and negativity,
Mm.
get it released by talking to some professional. And
Right.
in the realm of clinical psychology, particularly Freudian psychodynamics and psychoanalysis,
Mm-hmm.
they get themselves periodically, checked and they share their thoughts and feelings and get themselves refreshed by some other clinical psychologists. So that's how who provides them insight about their own mental health. And
Right.
apart from that, we should not forget that we are also humans.
Right.
So you should not take too much burden or too much stretch in your own mind. So
Mm.
you should follow the principle of work hard and party harder. Go for the Rishikesh or some happening Jim Corbett or other trip often. And once you are into the work, indulge yourself into the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have said that your conceptual clarity should be okay. It
Right.
is 80% immunize yourself from any unfortunate situation. Second,
Right.
share your thoughts with your
Mm.
colleagues. It will provide them more learning lesson. It will polish their own skills as a psychologist. And
Right.
third thing, you also work hard and party harder. You also celebrate and enjoy in the normal situation. Avoid analyzing people, judging people, or bracketing people as कई लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं तुम तो histrionic personality हो. Some
Mm.
people say, after studying psychologist, sometimes people do feel कि हाँ मेरे अंदर भी तो ये symptoms आ रहे हैं, which we
Mm-hmm.
call as medical student symptoms in the
Mm.
field of psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So it is quite common. After a time, they get acclimatized. Okay, this is personality disorder. This is catatonia. Okay, मेरे अंदर भी थोड़ा ऐसा है. But
Mm.
after a time, it becomes a joke. So
Right.
initial years of graduation, this thing is much more. But later on, once you mature as a psychologist, maybe during masters,
Hmm.
you get to know, you start laughing and smiling all these things. So
Right.
more you share, more you share with your friends and colleagues,
Hmm.
more you party and take care of your own oiling of the machine which is running
Hmm.
inside you, the
Right.
better and more evolved psychologist and personal person you can become.
Sounds really good. So I want to ask you, Mr. Dwivedi, what do you do to keep yourself mentally healthy? What are the three things that you do on daily basis?
Well, I follow my routine rigorously, which includes
Mhm.
exercise is a must
Okay.
because more than any intoxicant, if you
Mhm.
either exercise either in the form of cycling, gymming, swimming, or any exercise which increases your heartbeat and perspiration, then
Mhm.
definitely a lot of de-stressing chemicals like dopamine, endorphins, and melatonin, all these are released, which
Mhm.
will provide you natural coolant or an oil to the machine inside you.
You stick
Right.
to your routine.
I stick to my routine. I
Great.
That is one thing,
Mhm.
which includes my regular walk and cycling, etc., in the morning and evening.
Mhm.
And I sometimes, when I get a chance, if I'm too much perturbed by my research and counseling and training work, I
Mhm.
listen the instrumental music, the soothing instrumental
Okay.
music, which is called
Mhm.
as deep tribe awakening and meditation music. There is a lot of
Mhm.
list available on this YouTube and all.
Right.
Sometimes I also prefer listening bhajan and Hanuman
Mhm.
Chalisa and all those things, light music. So it
Mhm.
soothes your brain automatically.
Right.
And the third thing is Vipassana, which we all, as a psychologist, understand the value of Vipassana and meditation, mindfulness training. And there are thousands of videos by Jaggi Vasudev, Guruji, and Shri Ravi Shankar.
Right.
And you can also do Reiki, which is PEP healing, or Art of Living, which is PEP meditation. So all these things will definitely keep you mentally fit, and physically fit exercise should be must. So I do all these things whenever I'm free, and these are part of my routine. And the last is to keep yourself fit is to keep yourself too busy. Busy man is always mentally and physically healthy and fit. So all these are my USPs.
That's really nice, sir. The people who are listening to you right now, they might be thinking about what they do right now, what they
Of
do in
course.
their daily routine, what are the things that they must stick with.
Yeah.
So
And of
exercising,
course,
meditating, these are the really must thing.
music, meditation,
Music, yeah.
exercise are a must. And definitely you should be, if you are a lady or
Hmm.
a gents, you should be having some hobby or a me time personally to yourself, which is only and
Right.
only for your care, mental health, and grooming yourself,
Hmm.
seeing yourself going for a party or a movie or some outing to Rishikesh, Haridwar, or
Hmm.
some spiritual place. This will
Hmm.
automatically oil your brain, and you will feel much comfortable, and professionally you will have a more edge.
Right. And one more thing people can do, that they can learn. They can have an habit of keep learning and keep growing
Of course, of
always
course. The more
in
you
their
learn,
field.
the better it is.
Hmm.
There are a lot of videos available by successful gurus like Sandeep Maheshwari, Ujjwal Patni, and Vivek Bindra, and all. You
Right.
can keep learning, and you can see the concept of psychology being applied there, and you yourself
Hmm.
can. You are the expert, not they. So you yourself can groom yourself in that direction, and moreover, it is motivation always.
Okay. So before asking you the advice, best advice of this talk show to my audience, I would like to ask you, how do you see Counsel India? Because we also help a lot of students to become the better counselor by giving them the practical internship programs and
Mhm.
some training courses, practical psychology courses we are offering to the people. So how do you see, how was your experience with Counsel India? You
Well,
see that?
my experience with Counsel India and you was fabulous, and because you are a very dynamic and young organization, which in a very less time you all are have done a couple of very wonderful work. I keep on listening my students of Amity University and Delhi University and IGNU, that
Mhm.
the quality of internship which you provide, which is actually commendable, and I would really congratulate you for providing such a quality internship. I've heard that you all do all that. You all equip student with all the real life case history taking and
Right.
mental health test, standardized test. And apart from that, I find Counsel India doing a lot of session on research and mental health and talk shows, of which I was also a couple of time part. So
Yeah.
I think you all have got a bright future with a young and dynamic leader like you, Bobby. So I wish and I feel proud and privileged to be associated with Counsel India. I think you have a long way to go, and in the upcoming days, you will have a more significant role to play for the mental health and for the nation building.
Well, thank you so much for your blessing, sir. So now this is the time to give the advice of the day to the audience. So what is the best advice you would like to give today to the people who are watching this talk show?
See, I would just wish all the psychology fraternity to, be always keep your attitude positive and progressive and balanced. And I would try to summarize it in the form of two lines by Sohanlal Dwivedi. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती, लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. And remember, in the psychology, the gist, if you say, of the entire psychology field is your perception. So if your attitude and perception is right, then there is no hurdle in the field of psychology. You will be personally and professionally very influential. So nazariya badalta hai to nazare badal jate hain. So keep your attitude and your outlook and your belief system robust, vibrant, progressive. You are bound to excel in life. So this is the piece of advice. Keep hard work, and in case if you have any doubt or any problem, Counsel India can invite me, and I've got a team of psychologists who can come and help you out to our young budding psychologists. So I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for giving me opportunity, Counsel India team, and happy Janmashtami once again. So any other question, if there is any doubt or question by any of the audience, I'm free to answer.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for giving us the time. Thank you so much for talking about career as a psychology, where we have discussed that why to choose psychology as a career, how to choose career in psychology. We have discussed the past, present, and future of psychology. We have discussed the various myths related to the psychology and how to become the better counselor and what are the various opportunities available in this world for the psychologists. And definitely this session, this talk show gonna enlighten people to become more curious about opting the psychology as a career. Thank you so much. And audience, if you have any question from Dr. Toshin Dwivedi, you are most welcome. You can write to Counsel India and we'll be answering your questions. Thank you so much for staying here. Thank you so much for connecting with Counsel India. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you so much, Bobby and Counsel India, for giving me opportunity. It was great pleasure and privilege being part of Counsel India. Namaskar, happy evening, and Jai Vishwanath.
Happy Janmashtami.
Happy Janmashtami, all of you. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.